this is very rare in a manga series like this, where it's consistently just fucking awesome from start. Just like ever since D.Gray-Man's return and all that, we've had nothing but fucking 9s and 10s and just, oh my god, just especially even with this chapter as well, just a lot of crazy stuff and all that to talk about this chapter. A lot of good, and got to see an old face return. Yeah, it's good to see you again, like Howard, like it's been a while. So can we just appreciate the baller ass like fucking front cover that D.Gray-Man got? That was absolutely amazing, and not to mention as well for the fact that cover page when we got to see that amazing ass fucking like picture of like in fucking suits. That was the greatest, and very interesting enough that we didn't get any more news about the anime or anything at all. I know they're supposed to be doing like a special kind of like little presentation or something, or like some sort of event for it, but for like the series, like just to be announcing, hey, we're just going to be getting an anime, but here's a really nice color page front cover. I gotta appreciate that. I do like I have a soft spot for badass characters in the fucking suits chilling like bosses, so that was one thing really cool. I did appreciate the 14 and fucking Alan Walker like just looking at like bosses and all that, and like just getting straight in from what we got from last chapter. Seeing the talisman being activated and like Alan like try to like get the fuck out of these, like, yo, what the fuck, I can't move, and seeing that it's the Black Order coming around like trying to stop him with their like shields and stuff, like it was like, oh, by the way, it's like the fucking like Order, it's like, and you know what, the Millennium Earl, they did the wrong thing, like they knocked him down, and like, you know, they started like pushing down, like, get out of the way, fucking old man, and then, yeah, that whole situation where they just start absorbing up, piercing through, like, their skulls and stuff like that. Very weird, like, kind of, like, demonic, like, it looks demonic, but then at the same time, like, angelic, it just absorbs it, and it's just like, oh, by the way, I absorb just everything from the sweat. Like, he did all of it, even taking like some bullets like from his tongue and just like spitting them out, and he's like, really, did you really think and all that that's gonna work and all that, and I'm gonna devour you? And it's like, and they realized, oh, by the way, that's the Millennium Earl. And like, you realize that it's like, yeah, that's a bit of an issue. And just finding out that, you know, he absorbs like pretty much just like everything, the helix of life and stuff, like this is what he does, like he absorbs like your entire entity. I'm like, oh my god, that is like what this guy does. He devours the human soul itself, like, and everything. And I just like that he like the really creepy like Millennium Earl like mask like he has like with a giant tooth, and just the really creepy, like, this is one thing that I've probably gone on a lot about in this series, especially ever since its return. But oh man, if I could just get the fucking score on art alone, like this really, like, I love the distortion in like the faces of, like, I really love that in a lot of this series and all that. Like, I really love the kind of like angelic and demonic kind of feel to it, with also a little bit of realism in some parts to it. But I've got to say, the art on like characters and just the design and just stuff and all that, if I could just score it on its own, I would give it a fucking 10, because oh my god, like when you get to sort of like when you like, especially when you got to see like him like trapped in the like that giant like talisman and stuff, that was amazing. Like when you got to see like the hat returning on like the Millennium Earl and everything, like it was all like this really kind of like plasticine kind of look to it. Like it just looked great from the start. And even when you got to see like what panel, especially when you got to see like fucking Howard thrown in like the knives and shit, that was amazing. Like just so much detail gone into it, and I was gonna say, you know what, forgetting about like 60 odd pages worth of kind of material and all that, and that's including colors and stuff, like that was amazing. Like that was honestly, like I could really accept this if it was on there. But the only issue that you get with this is like, man, fucking, I wish this was like every week or every month or something like that we got this. Like that's literally the biggest issue with D.Gray-Man. I want more. And just seeing like we got to see like Howard Link getting in there, pulling the talisman, he's just like, oh yeah, by the way, and all that, it's like, you mind stepping away from that young man, pulls the knives, and it's like, yeah, and they're like, what the fuck, like, that's the thing, the 14's like, should he be dead? Like, what the fuck's going on? And like, he just does the bind move like that, and he's just like, gets fucking like him straight out of there immediately, and he's like, yeah, I'm alright, yeah, you're right, Alan, like, I've got everything here, like, you know, I'm here to save you. And he's like, the 14's immediately like, I better play this out, like, you know, I better like fake it out like till I make it, saying that I think it's right. He's like, they're like kind of laughing. He's like, oh my god, like, it's you, Howard. I thought you were dead. Like he was like kind of like trying to pull the old Alan Walker sort of thing, and he's like, I really missed you, and it's been a while. He's like, here, let me get that for you, that giant hole that you got. Even pulling out the crocodile tears and everything, using like he's doing his Arturo, like I believe it was like Otuda. Like that was amazing, like coming out with like Arturo like doing that and like actually using his own life force to even like heal like Alan's body and like doing that shit, and then he's like, whoa, what the hell's going on? And he's like, oh, by the way, there's no reason to pretend to be Walker in front of me. I know you're the 14th and all that, and like I'm not pretending. Like I can sense like you, like your murderous intent and all that from your chi and all that. And he's like, you're the 14th, and he's just like, what are you talking about? Like, you know what? He's doing this innocent demeanor. But that's the thing. Another thing what I loved about the art is just like when you saw that fucking face change from that innocent smile from that Alan that we used to know, and then you just see the 14th come in, and it's just that grave murderous intent, like just looking at him like he wants to kill this motherfucker, like he wants to destroy him. He's like, yeah, you're a sharp human, ain't you? And he's like, you know, key and all that. I gotta remember that, like. And he's just there, then just acting like a child and all that. And he's just like doing the little smile and all that. He's like, oh, what are you gonna do about it and all that? Like, I don't feel like in the mood to kill you. And he's like waving from side to side. And I'm like, yeah, that isn't the guy we used to know. That isn't the Alan Walker and all that. And he's like, oh yeah, you know, if you came to save Alan, that's too late, man. He's gone. Like, he's absolutely gone. And he's like, yeah. This is the thing though and all that. He's like, and Howard just gets on his knees immediately, and it looks like his hands are shaking a bit, like getting on his knees. He's like, you know, my master Livian like that made a secret pact with Cross Marion and sent me here to protect the 14th. I am your tool. I've been waiting for the past 3 months to do this, and all that. I am the ally of the new 14th, and he's like, please use me as your life, you know, dictates. And it's just like, honestly, how the chapter just ends as the 14th just looks at him, and then just does this little comedic, he's kind of scary, like, get away from me, like. Honestly, I laughed about it, and that's the weird thing about this series, is that it can go from, like, comedic kind of part, like, it works so well, because you can have, like, this, angelic and demonic kind of look to characters and stuff like that, but then you always have comedy, and that's one thing that worked about it, and I'm glad that this is one of the first few series that I saw, and it just works well, like, honestly, and all that, and I mean, even with, like, people saying about the anime, like, oh, they're changing, like, the Japanese voice actors, like, to, like, different people for Howard, and especially with Alan as well, like, you know, like, I haven't got that too much of, like, oh, I didn't feel too much on it, because, you know, to me, D.Gray-Man's the dub for me. Some people it's the manga, some people it's the sub. To me, it was the dub, honestly. Like, honestly, Told to Have a Corner is like Alan Walker. I will always remember that. I always love, like, that English dub for it, and it's a shame they didn't do it all. That really upsets me, but I cannot wait for, like, the next anime. And it's like, there's a slight chance that they could get licensed and all that. I really wish it did, but considering, like, how badly, like, the anime failed over here, like, in the West and all that, like the anime did really bad over here. That's why we didn't get a continuation of, like, the dub. So, like, I hope that's the case, like, and it's a nice thing with these, like, chats, since it comes out so rarely, like, these chapters, I can talk a little bit about the anime and the manga a little bit with it, and just honestly, like, this chapter was so good. Like, it's like the same thing. I'd give this a 9, like 9.5. I really, like, start to this. The biggest issue with the chapter is that, one, it fucking ended. That's the biggest issue. And, like, I wanted more. And that's the thing with this series, like, where I keep thinking, like, whenever I get to it, it's like, man, I want more. Like, I hadn't thought, like, there's only a few rare mangas that do that to people and all that. And, like, you know, considering that this was, like, the original, like, which I don't want to spoil too much, but it's like, if people have ever seen Tokyo Ghoul and know about, like, the kind of persona changing of the character in that series, then yeah, there you go. It's definitely kind of on that field as well. And I feel like this kind of like the original series that kind of did it, like, where you got to see the persona and shit, like, just changing and all that. Like, it's absolutely batshit crazy. See, like, just the innocent little Alan that we knew, he's not there. Like, he's not there anymore. We haven't had him for a very long while. It's just like, no, let's just have a look at the fucking 14th being the evil ass motherfucker with, like, the Millennium Earl. Like, it's so fucking interesting to, like, see that. And, like, honestly, I just wish we could just get more. And it upsets me that we had to wait for such a long time for every, like, chapter. And it's like, I really wish it came back weekly or monthly or something like that. That'd be absolutely fantastic. But either way, if it's of this quality and it's honestly of this long a pages, which is about like 58, I think, like, so including the colors and stuff like that, then yeah, I'm willing to wait like those months for it. But it's like, oh, it's when it's such quality and all that, like, it's rare for a series to do that. Like, the only series I know that have done that, like, on weeks or something like that, or continue on months, or like even on just chapters in general, that have done like 9s to 10s on 10, like, in a row and all that, has literally been like Gintama, Machi back in the day, Tokyo Ghoul, a few others that I can't name, like probably Berserk, like some of them, like that's the only ones I can really name off the top of my head, and like next to Vagabond as well, like what other the bits I've read of it. It's like that's one of like the few series as well I've just been pitching ever since like D.Gray-Man has returned to me, like to the manga. Like, my god, I don't know if it's just that I'm that much of a fanboy, but my god, these chapters have been fucking quality. The only thing I don't get in this 10 is because, like, every other chapter we've had has just been big, massive revelations, and this was just, like, escaping from the Earl, like, and it was still fucking good and crazy, has some insane shit to it. So, honestly, I loved it. 221, just great-ass chapter. Honestly, I really wish, like, this gets a lot more, like, resurgence for people to check out, like, D.Gray-Man, but I think, like, over in the West, really, with, like, you know, the anime and stuff like that, I don't think we might be getting the new season, which might suck and all that, like for us, like, because I really like to do it. I hope they, like, at least legally, like, stream it for people. That's the case that I'm hoping for it. But, obviously, let me know what you think in the comment section down below. I love this chapter, and I hope you guys did too. But I will catch you guys next time.